You usually have until the later of 30 days or the last day of the month following the month when the closing happens. So here we are, in early March. Any closing that happens in the month of March isn't due until the end of April. So
Yeah, and it's nice to have that grace period, but I could also see title companies getting into a lot of trouble with that grace period. Just looking historically at how they handle policy preparation and even recordings, and sometimes once that the ink is dry, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind, and people forget and they don't follow up and they don't prioritize that part of their workflow. And you could be facing really big penalties if you don't file in a timely manner. Can you tell me a little bit more
absolutely.
about the potential penalties if somebody doesn't file on time?
Sure. So in a transaction where a report is due, failing to file the report, could potentially be a felony. If it was intentional. If it wasn't intentional, what makes this regulation a little bit unique is that they don't actually spell out what the penalties could be, but it could be in the thousands of dollars under the general authority that FinCEN has under the Bank Secrecy Act, which is the statute under which these regulations come up. So you're looking at thousands of dollars, but even more importantly than that is the time, the mind share, the defense costs. If you're
Yeah.
the reporting person and you're responding to some sort of civil investigative demand or even some sort of civil complaint, you're going to spend a lot more in legal fees than you're ever going to pay in fines.
And it's probably not just one transaction. If you have kind of fallen down on the job of keeping up with your post closing obligations, then by the time it comes to light that you failed to file one, you've probably failed to file 10, 20, 100. And those penalties really can compound at that point.
Absolutely, and that's why I brought up this the subject of workflow.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have, as you say, a functional understanding of the law. It's another thing to truly appreciate what the workflow of each transaction is going to be, and to design it in such a way so that you don't put yourself in a position where you could miss a deadline.